What is going on, YouTube? Patrick here. A little live thrifting for you guys this week, but definitely a little on the shorter side as compared to usual. Uh, Definitely just did not find a ton of good stuff, but a few interesting things. So definitely decided to publish this video. A couple that I thought were really interesting and worth sharing for sure. Amber and I headed to Savers. This was last Saturday morning. And of course, I headed back to the electronics first. I have not been doing well with this electronics section lately, to be honest. Like, just haven't been finding a bunch. There was a Wii like bowling ball adapter down there, which I've sold one of those before that was brand new. Doesn't sell for a ton, but it did sell. I saw this DVD rewriter, like external drive, and I thought, it just kind of tingled the interesting bone. But no, ended up putting it back. Did not buy that. I still thought it was very interesting, though, and I probably would check it again if I saw it again in the future. Maybe a different model had some more value than this one did. But you guys can see there's lots of speakers and there's some DVD players and some printers. Kind of your usual fare for a thrift store, like electronics section. The VCRs and the DVD VHS players and the video games have all kind of just dried up this year, really. You can see I've got a Wii AV cable there. I almost always pick those up when I find them. I end up buying. I think I ended up buying like 8 Wii's last year, and I'm sure there was at least one of them that did not have the AV cable with it. So, and I think I ended up selling all of them around Christmas time for a good amount of money. I also put a Canon camera into the cart. It was broken, so I put that back. And then this RCA phone that was brand new in the box. I've done pretty well with brand new phones that are in the box like that. That one, no. I ended up putting that one back too, though. What are you going to do? Next stop in this Savers, like I almost always head over to the toys. Sometimes some really good stuff. This Savers, I really like it because usually the pegs are filled. So that really helps. There's a whole bag full of Imaginext, like the Fisher-Price Imaginext figures there. Definitely pick those up if you see them. A few of them individually are worth a little bit of money, but they do pretty well in bundles, right? So, of course, like usual, the cheaper the better. What are those? Those were $3.99, so not too bad. I think there ended up being like 10 figures in there, so it ended up being a really good deal. One of them I actually ended up listing all by itself, so that's gonna be pretty good. I listed it for like $12. So that will pay for the entire rest of the bag, and then I'll bundle the rest of them together. I end up like putting them into a bin here where we live, and when I get enough of them that I think it's worthwhile to put a bundle together, maybe 15, maybe 20, something like that, I'll put them up for like $20, $30, $40 to something like that. It just kind of depends on what the market is allowing for at that moment. That's what I'll put the price at. Unfortunately, right, not picking up a lot of other stuff this day. I think I ended up buying one more bag of something here. But definitely you can see somebody else grabbed a bag right as I was there, which of course I hate that. It always gives me that huge FOMO, right? The fear of missing out. Just do not want to be missing out on whatever they just got. That always makes me have a little bit of anxiety. But honestly, there was just tons and tons of bags. I ended up buying this bag here that I'm holding as well. There were a couple of interesting things in there that I thought, hey, I at least want to know what they are. And there ended up being a Fisher-Price, Play School, Little People, like Duck, that ended up being worth a little bit. I'll pop up the comp here on the screen so you guys can see what that was worth. I didn't realize that was in there at the time. I thought it was interesting, though. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get this. All right, so looking through here, right, I'm looking for vintage stuff, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, looking for Star Wars, all that kind of stuff. Don't usually find that stuff, but occasionally you do, so you got to look. Looking through the bigger toys section down here, right, early in the morning, it's all nice and orderly. Right, a little later in the day, this will be chaos as the kids come in and play with everything. I'm going to be looking for, honestly, like G.I. Joe vehicles, Transformers potentially. Sometimes they have new unboxed toys over here. You never know what you're going to find in there. I have found all sorts of interesting things. Even some play sets can be worth a good amount. And then going down to the games, right, we're going to look for probably brand new games, to be honest, or maybe that one rare game that the store didn't find. I've definitely seen that some of the branded monopolies can be worth money. This one just felt like a pain in the butt, to be honest. So I left it behind. Next stop in the Savers was this kitchen section over here. And there is a toaster up in the upper left up there that's white. It says KitchenAid on it. So that caught my eye. Not enough to put it in the cart right away, but definitely I was like, hey, that's interesting. I think I'm going to check that out. But I'm going to be looking for a lot of brand new stuff, to be honest. And then some of the different appliances. Ninja comes to mind, right? Ninja's a pretty good one. And then I saw this Sony radio here, which I thought was interesting, but ended up not really being worth it. So I ended up putting it back. I looked it up. I figured, what the heck, one good thing in Connecticut, they've gotten rid of the mask rules. So like much easier to get into my phone than it used to be. So I'm looking things up a lot more than I was. It's just a lot easier than having to type in my password every time to access my phone. So you can see here now, I'm going to go and take a look at that KitchenAid, which I did end up buying. I've got it priced at about $50, I think, on eBay and on Facebook Marketplace right now. And there wasn't a ton of them sold or listed for that matter. I'll pop the comp up here so you guys can see what this model was. But I thought it was worth it. I think it ended up being priced a little high at like $10 or maybe $11. So you never really know if I'm going to get that $30, $40, $50, but I think I should be able to get at least $30 for it. We'll see. It may sit for a little while. All right, so popping it into the cart, and then we'll head around the corner to the really, it's kind of the rest of the kitchen section, right? There's pots and pans and all of the bundt stuff, all the cupcake pans. Passing by the water bottles. I don't think I ever find anything in the water bottles, to be honest. Over in this section, right, I'm going to be looking mostly for interesting bundt pans, mostly of the Nordic ware variety. Sometimes find a few other things over here. This is where they're going to put their Pyrex too, if you guys are into Pyrex. I will occasionally pick up some Pyrex if I find something that's interesting. I was hoping that was one of those really high-end roasters. Right, did the tap test, just sounded really cheap. Same thing there. There was a Wilton. I was hoping it might have been a Nordic ware, but you can do the tap test and just kind of tell right away if it's going to be something good or not. I don't pick up a ton more other stuff over here. On the other side, pots and pans, right? I know a lot of people are picking up Revierware. I have never sold one of those. I have got a couple listed, and they just have sat. So don't tend to pick those up. My next stop is, one of my favorite places, the pegs that have all the electronics on here. I'm going to be looking for cameras like that, maybe. I'm looking for calculators. I'm looking for thermostats. I'm going to be looking for maybe CD players occasionally. I definitely do not pick up tape players anymore. I used to pick them up all the time, and I got to the point where it was like 9 out of 10 of them just did not work. So unless I wanted to become an expert in repairing tape players, I just gave up on them completely. I've also pick up the occasional GPS, right? There's always some interesting stuff in the electronics section. You never really know what you're going to find. Occasionally they have some handheld video game stuff here, or even some of the plug and play video games. So it's always a fun time to go through the pegs. Didn't find anything today though. Next stop was the behind the counter stuff, or the case stuff. They honestly have had some pretty interesting stuff up here lately, but what hasn't been interesting is their prices. The prices have been very high, which, right, that's kind of the game, right? This is a store. They're trying to make money, so I don't mind if they've put some stuff behind the counter. I have bought plenty of stuff here from even behind the counter that was a good deal. It just kind of depends on, I don't know, the season, the luck, something like that. And obviously it's stuff made in my cart even today that they didn't put behind the counter, so they're not going to catch everything either. I did think that like multi-tool, like over there, that's sitting over there on the shelf, that was pretty interesting to me. Like if I had seen that out in the store, I might have looked it up and taken a look. But I think they wanted like $50 for it behind the counter, and that was honestly probably a pretty good price. You never really know with that stuff though. All right, gonna go look at the rest of like the kitchen hard goods here. You never know what you're gonna find. Gonna cut to some live audio. Well, hi. You found some stuff? Let's see what you got. What is that?
A wrestling shirt, tour shirt.
Rage the Stage. Interesting.
Right, that's the wrestling symbol.
It could be. It looks like wrestling. For $6, huh? Interesting.
Looks like you could look it up.
All right, let's do it.
Then I found
Racing?
this NASCAR. No, yeah, it is NASCAR.
Yeah, it's definitely NASCAR. Okay, it's newer.
Okay.
That one's only $350.
And then I saw this.
And Batman? Okay, sounds good. Let's do it. We'll learn something, right?
We'll look them up, though.
Okay, we will.
You're not going to look them up.
Sure, I'll look them up if you ask me to. Oh, kind of funny, right? As seen on TV. Smart home set of 2. Set of 2 what? I still don't know. I still don't know what it is. This one's heavier. Something Barney. Mini size Barney.
25 cups.
It's cups.
Yeah.
You think it's this? These little, like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't exactly know what that is, but
Those are for cupcakes.
for cupcakes, huh?
Yep.
What would you even call that? Cupcake cup? Let's see. It's like yellow. I bet it's that.
Yeah.
Any sold? This is going to be the question.
Did you look at coffee cups already?
No, I did not. They want $5. 75 count in package. That's interesting. There's meat to be made there. So what I've done is broken up those Barney cupcake holders, or cups or whatever, into lots of 75, and I put them up for $4 plus $4 shipping on eBay, and I made a multi-quantity listing. There were 12,000 of them in there. I was really hoping that they were going to be individually wrapped. They were not. So that was unfortunate. But hey, for $5, I decided to take a chance there. Those wooden bowls I thought were super interesting. They were labeled as Target. We tried our best to look them up to see if we could find anything similar, ended up putting them back. And then KitchenAid. I've already got one KitchenAid thing in my cart. Definitely this is one of my favorite brands and probably should be one of yours too. This one was selling for like $25 to $30 if it was complete. And I just decided, it just wasn't worth it to try and open it up, look inside to see how many of the parts were in there. I just decided to put it back. There was much more interesting stuff this day. Amber and I did end up heading back over to the t-shirt section. We went through all of them again. It's just one of those categories that we're trying to learn, right? Like that's kind of the fun of this, is always trying to learn that new category so that literally you can go to any store and be able to look at a whole bunch of stuff and try and find something. Now, Amber had gone and looked at the mugs, and the first thing I do is I come over here and I see this Dunkin' Donuts mug. It's one of the little, like, it's mirroring the Starbucks where it says "You are here." We did pick this up. It'll probably sell for like $8, so for $1.50, not a bad pickup. All right, well, that's going to do it this week, you guys. If you've liked this content, please do smash that like button. And if you're interested in subscribing, please do so. You can ring that bell and remind you when I post videos. Usually it's going to be on Wednesday and Saturdays, though. Once again, my name is Patrick, and thank you very much.